The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
All right, Cowboys Nation, welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign here in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Aisha Morrison, Jess Navarez, and Christy Scales. It is no longer a Victory Friday, but it is still a Victory Monday in our
Absolutely.
eyes. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, belated Thanksgiving to you all.
Yeah.
Did y'all have a great day? Thanksgiving Day?
Huh?
Oh, yeah. It's special.
fun.
It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It doesn't matter the records of the teams going in. There is always a special vibe for a Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game, even back at Texas Stadium. And I don't remember the Cotton Bowl days. But there's something special. And so when the schedule comes out, if you only get to come to one game a year, and if it's not, you know, maybe you want to see the Eagles, or maybe there's an AFC team coming that you want to particularly see that. But if not, I recommend Thanksgiving just because there is something special to it, and you could feel it on Thursday.
I agree.
I was actually asking like how y'all's Thanksgiving was, like families. and stuff.
I was not with my family. I was at the game.
Yeah.
I was at the game. And this was my first Thanksgiving game sitting in the stands. So I wasn't
Really?
actually working this one. And I can confirm what Christy's saying. The vibe was different. Everyone was in a good mood. And there was a lot of Cowboys fans there, so that really helped.
Good
The
point.
vibes were high. Cowboys fans were doing their best at not cheering when the offense was on the field. It was good. It was fun. The food was bomb, by the way.
Oh,
at
they
the
do a great
stadium.
job.
Oh
It was
my
good.
They do a
God.
great job.
It was
Food
good.
was bomb.
I actually ate before though. My mom cooked some mac and cheese, some baked
Ooh,
chicken,
that sounds
some
good.
turkey, some cornbread dressing, some green. She made it all, and I ate it before. But then I also ate at the stadium. Yeah,
See,
don't judge me.
That's what Thanksgiving's for.
Yeah.
Jazz and I went to the game, and we ate at the tailgate before. I had to host a tailgate, so she went with me to the tailgate, and they had the best barbecue, and I really need to go back and look at where this was, because it was local. Oh, my God, it was so good. Her and I just kept talking about that good barbecue, so if that makes you feel any better, we had barbecue, and then we went into the game and ate more.
I love that for you.
Yeah, it was great.
What about you, Aisha?
I attended and took part in a potluck for another job, and I didn't get any of my family's cooking this year, so I am so glad y'all did. I'm
well, I
jealous. I'm glad I can cook, because I'm just gonna cook for myself. Since somebody wanna bring me no plate, no nothing. If my cousins are watching, it's fine. They let
It's
me.
all right.
They
You
let-
still at least got a
You
chance
see how
to
they
eat some
did
good
me.
food.
No.
That's good.
Probably one of the best potlucks I've ever been to. I prayed.
I was going to say, who was not making good food at that
Can't eat,
potluck?
and everybody
You
else.
prayed?
Call 'em
No,
out.
I had
Needed to.
Italian green beans for the first time, which was really dope. The food was good.
Yeah. Do you know what they call green beans in Italy?
No,
Italian green beans. What do they call them in Italy?
no.
Green beans.
Bye. See, you know what? She didn't really like on some comedic timing stuff.
Why did I look at her like,
I know, I was like, wow, how do you know that?
You trying to be that?
Let's try.
No,
Wow,
because
that
the
was
thing
great.
is that Christy knows stuff about so many things.
She
So
does.
we
I
was,
know.
I was
Like, you
locked
never
in.
know.
I thought she was about to teach me
French
something.
fries in France.
And
They're
girl said
fries.
green beans.
Baby,
Sick.
look how she do me.
It's all right. It's
I
fine.
love it. That was
fine.
amazing.
But you can cook, right?
Yes,
I can't.
I can.
But you know who can? The Cowboys.
I
can
hope
cook
they
for
can
me.
cook.
Let's talk about it.
Brandon Cooks.
It took a long way to get there, but we're there.
You know what? It did take a long way, but
It's
it's all
about
right.
the journey,
We're
not
here.
the destination.
We're here. The Cowboys get the win on Thanksgiving Day, 27-20, the final in AT&T Stadium. They get their first home win of the 2024 season. Obviously, a lot of excitement following that win. The guys in the locker room in different spirits. We love to see that. What did y'all learn from this win? And whoever, you guys can chime in however y'all want. Go ahead, ladies.
Well, I just that the defense is really coming together, and that DeMarvion Overshown continues to show that he can be a real catalytic player. I think the defense overall playing well, and Rico Dowdle, I think had his best game arguably as a Cowboy.
Yeah.
And so it's so important when you go into what is essentially a mini bye, when you have that rest after Thanksgiving, to go in on a high note, because we had more injuries. I know we'll talk about that, but a couple of very serious injuries from the game Thursday. And so if you had not gotten the win, if you weren't going in on a high note and you had those injuries, that would have carried over in a negative way into this week. But you still have the injury situations, but at least everyone's feeling better going into the long weekend.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, had the injury bug not bit so hard this season, what you would be seeing from this team. Because overall, even just seeing piece by piece more of these players coming back and that giving you more of a well-rounded team, what this season could have been like if it wasn't for injuries. That's kind of what it made me think, especially seeing Brandon Cooks come back. And it was so nice to see the little Archer back in the end zone. And it was really fun to just watch him create an atmosphere with the guys around him. And I mean, his presence is just so well known. I mean, I was watching the game back, and first thing I noticed is after every play, Brandon is the first one to every guy to help them up. And just things like that you miss from a player like Brandon Cooks. And the experience, Cooper Rush had instant trust in him, which, it's Brandon Cooks. How could you not? But it just really made me wonder what this team would have been like this year if it was not for the injuries that have occurred and, like Christy said, unfortunately continue to occur on Thursday.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it as well. I mean, obviously the injuries decimated the defensive side of the ball, and to your point, I think we are kind of getting a look-see at what it could have been, or, maybe something to look forward to, but also, too, it made me consider that, looking at a Dan Quinn system and looking at a Zimmer system, they're different. They are, I mean, honestly, from what they're being asked, I mean, you have linebackers, the things that the linebackers are doing, the things that the safeties are doing, this is a pretty big change in system. And I guess, like, it didn't resonate to me right away, like, how different this might be for the guys. So, to your point, I do think just, like, we are seeing what a healthy team would look like, but also, too, we're seeing these guys understand this system.
Yeah.
And you also are seeing other guys elevate their play, and that's why the system is working.
Yep.
Because Zimmer's system has a very serious focus on the safety position and the defensive tackle position. You're getting better defensive tackle play from Amazi Smith. Watkins gets his few reps in there. Like, you're getting better D-tackle play, and because of that, it's allowing guys like Osa to be free. It's allowing these guys to play, and your linebackers are more free. So you see a DeMarvion Overshown just shooting the gap. Like, that's also because Linval Joseph or Mazi Smith is taking on a double team, and he's able to slip through there. So you're seeing the system going to come into play, too, and to your point, that the guys getting healthier are a big part of that as well. So it's a little bittersweet.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a little bittersweet, but I am happy that the guys are getting a feel for this system and understanding it.
We're going to hear from Michael Parsons in the second segment about that, too, because he did address the fact that these guys are feeling a little bit more comfortable. And that's something that, to go to your point with Mazi Smith, Mike McCarthy had touched on it in the press conference earlier and just said that he's starting to understand that there's not much sexiness to this position, and you have to be an anchor for the defensive line. So I love that you mentioned that as well. What I learned... Dang, I'm sick.
Oh,
Getting
little
there, guys.
nose.
My
When the
bad.
weather doesn't decide which season we're in,
But you know what I'm not
does
sick
that.
of?
Oh my gosh.
I had to
here
say
we
it before
go.
I forgot it.
Here we go.
Kavante Turpin. Not sick of him at all.
Not sick of him at
Not
all.
sick of him at all. No, I truly believe that, I mean, we've talked about it. His confidence is growing. And you look at what he was able to do, caught 4 out of his 5 targets, team high 53 yards. His 53% target rate for the game is tied for the 3rd highest in a game, but you're seeing him get also yak yardage. I remember one of the plays, it was in the first quarter, 1st and 10, and he gets the catch for 16 yards, which would have been an 11-yard catch. So you're starting to see him get a little bit more confidence, and I really like that to see from that. See that from Turpin.
Yeah, and that catch you're referring to, that was one of those like little shovel passes.
Yeah.
So really an extended handoff.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a pass and counts as a passing statistic, but creative ways, because before it was if Kavante Turpin had the ball in his hands in on offense, it was a jet sweep.
Yeah, we know. We remember.
Can I ask you something, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking. I wanted to ask you. So, in regard to Kavante Turpin, we have been obviously banging the table since he's been here to give him more receiving
Literally.
opportunities and to do some of the things that they're starting to do. Have you ever seen a guy on special teams be that intricate to maybe where they're
That's
like,
a good question.
I don't know, because we've seen it in kind of like who's the main returner, who's not the main returner, and those type of things. But like even with Rico last year, I remember being like, if he's getting more snaps, why is he returning? So does that play come into play, and do you think that it had anything to do with why it's taken a while for him to kind of get his opportunity, because he's such a weapon as a returner?
That's the thing. The comparison doesn't hold in terms of body type and style, but this is kind of how Miles Austin began his career with the Cowboys. He was an undrafted guy out of Monmouth.
memories.
I
Really,
know.
yeah.
I know.
And yeah, I know. Aisha's heart just skipped a
was-
beat
I
thinking
love
of Miles
me
Austin.
some
That was my generation.
No, I
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
I like this
Before my
game.
time, guys.
I like
No,
this
it
game.
was.
But you know what?
By
Miles
1 year.
Go ahead.
Miles had trouble cracking the, he was like 5th or 6th receiver and had trouble cracking time in terms of getting reps in the offense because it was pretty stacked at the time with the wide receiver room. That was the days of Terrell Owens and the like. I think Roy Williams, not the safety, but the wide receiver, they had traded first-round draft picks for him. So, but Miles was a big contributor on kickoff returns, and in fact had a kickoff return for a touchdown in the playoff game at Seattle, the one the Cowboys lost. That was the one where the field goal attempt went through Romo's fingers.
Yeah.
But what happened? What happened with Miles's career was the aforementioned Roy Williams got absolutely clocked in a game against the Broncos and was missing some time. And so the next week, the Cowboys are playing at Kansas City. Miles Austin finally gets a chance to be an integral part of the offense and goes for over 200 yards and scores a game winner in overtime. So with Kavante, just absolutely invaluable on special teams, what he can contribute there. But remember Kavante, it was a star at TCU, but as a returner, not really as a
He's
wide
developing.
receiver.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's in terms of like, I don't want to say football IQ, but in terms of time, right? It's time on task. And so when you don't get all of that as a wide receiver, you're more of a return specialist guy. It just takes time in this league, and especially at that position.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not just talking about an undrafted guy who played in the USFL.
Right.
I'm talking about first-round picks.
He played in Poland.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Everywhere.
He played in Poland. He played for the.
I didn't know this.
He played for he's played 9 different teams. And. Anyway, but that's what it reminds me of. Is I'm not saying that Kavante's going to go on and have the career as a receiver that Miles Austin had before his hamstring injuries, but that's what is what comes to mind when you ask that question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No,
sorry,
go
I
ahead,
just
go
want
ahead.
to say I caught up with Kavante at one of the events I had to work before the game, and keep in mind that's coming right off of his return and his touchdown. So I would just like to say, when it came time to introduce players, I was like, I got Turp. Don't you worry. And he knew. It made him feel very WWE wrestler-esque the way I introduced him. Awesome. But anyways, all that to
That's
say,
our MC. My bad.
I talked to him, and I had asked him, did you see it? Like, did you know as soon as, you got back up from the fumble? And he was like, it wasn't until after the spin move that I saw the clear lane. And then I said, well, do you, see guys? Or, what is your vision when you're going through? Because genuinely, you're going so fast, do you even see the guys? And he's like, no, I just go. I just see the end zone.
Yeah.
And he almost described it as tunnel vision that he gets when he's returning the ball. So that was interesting. And I asked him, I can't repeat exactly what he said, but I said, so are the Giants going to kick to you this week?
Crying.
And long story short, he said no, but it was a little more animated than that, if you can imagine. It was a beep, no.
Why would anyone kick to him the rest of the season?
I mean,
he honestly may not get.
but-
any,
That's what Bill Belichick
the
said.
only way
Yeah.
the only way would be really we only have the cold weather game. possibly in Carolina, but at Philadelphia, and that may be it for the cold weather games.
And he knew that though. When I kind of laughed about it, he's like, "No, not after that. I don't think it's gonna happen."
I wonder
so
he be
knows.
having those tantrums when he doesn't get anything.
So now
when
he's
he returns,
very
'cause
aware that like his chances are going to be a little, to your point, Christy, a little more limited within the return game. So I also think coaching is going to involve that a little bit more in the scheme, which is why you saw him more. I guess involved in the offense overall.
I think for McCarthy, it's more so finding that balance of not overworking him too much, because when you're doing so much on special teams as a returner, you kind of get a little gassed. But if you ask Kavante Turpin, how much do you want to play as far as the offensive side of the ball? He's like, I want to be there
the
every
whole
play.
time.
Yeah.
Every play.
He has Energizer
He
Bunny
does.
type stuff going
Yeah.
on.
He
I
really
don't think
does.
he's.
No, there's an infectious energy to him, for sure, an infectious
he radiates.
enthusiasm. But, you know, the other thing is you have to consider there's only one football, and you've got a lot of weapons that are involved. So when Jake Ferguson is out for a couple weeks, that kind of opens things up for other players possibly. You have Brandon Cooks coming back last week, so he's going to get some of those targets. So, and really the NFL is all about matchups. And the NFL, this game planning, it's chess. If you move your pawn here and then a rook here, it's all counter moves.
Checkmate.
So some weeks you're going to have better, more favorable matchups for Turpin than others. And by the way, it's 5 different leagues that he's played in. The fan-controlled football league, we all remember the Glacier Boys. The Spring League, that was the Sea Lions. Aisha mentioned Poland, so he played in Wrocław, Poland for the Panthers. Their uniforms looked like the Carolina Panthers. And then USFL, of course, for the New Jersey Generals, where he was the MVP.
That's 5 different teams.
And then the NFL, finally.
Brandon Cooks is someone I think that Kavante Turpin could benefit from. And I say that because Brandon Cooks' frame is not the biggest frame, but one thing I noticed about him, and since the time he's been here, but even just throughout his career, is how well he protects his body. He will shield himself off, even so, in certain ways. Tyler Lockett does the same, and these guys have had longevity for those reasons, because they are smaller frame. People are looking for you across the middle. So I think that, to your point earlier, is like Brandon Cooks and just Brandon Cooks, someone like him being in the locker room could really help Kavante Turpin develop, like you're talking about, Christy.
It's kind of like what in the beginning of the season, what kind of like with Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott, and how they kind of bounce off of each other. But you're seeing Rico really start to blossom. We like that over here. We love Rico Dowdle.
that over here.
Rico Dowdle has stopped going up once again, a season high in carries with 22, rushing yards 112, longest run of the year and 22 yards, his first rushing touchdown of the year. What did y'all like from Rico Dowdle? I feel like we have to talk about him every week at this point.
Of
Go,
course
you
we
first.
do. Well, I like that he is finally part of the 100 yards rushing club because, gosh, it was such a long time coming. And of course, it just gives you more confidence in him as your starting running back. It gives, I'm sure across the board, play callers more confidence in calling plays that involve him. It gives McCarthy more freedom to open up the playbook a little bit now that you have a consistent running back. And it's one game, but one of many I feel like he can stack if the play calling allows. I also really like his confidence and how he has handled this entire situation starting from training camp and even beyond that, because he has genuinely waited his turn. We talk about this week in, week out, but the way Rico has stayed patient really reminds me of his running style, because he's patient with it, he shifts, and then he's off. So it's kind of symbolic of how he runs the ball to what his journey has been in football overall, because he was patient, he waited his turn, his number was called, and he takes advantage of the opportunity, as he absolutely should. So very proud of Rico, very happy to see it. I just wish we would have seen it earlier.
It's okay.
But better late than never.
Absolutely.
And you know what? On Thanksgiving, perfect time to do it. Thankful that anybody ever dowdled him, because now I have receipts.
I goddamn knew
The bookmarks on my Twitter.
Freaking knew it.
I'm coming for y'all.
Sickness.
I'm coming for y'all. I have like 2 years worth of bookmarks just ready to go. I was waiting for this moment, guys.
All right, what y'all got?
We have no doubt about that.
Oh my God, this is like a sitcom. What is going on right now? It's like midday TV.
Oh my God.
Is it midday?
No,
That
it's definitely not.
Oh.
Anyway, anyway, sorry. With Rico Dowdle. Y'all make me so sick.
She lost her train of thought.
Yeah, I did. I tweeted during this game he was displaying a lot of patience, and I agree with you. I think we talk about the game slowing down for guys all the time. It's definitely slowing down for him. You see him reading what the defense is doing. Like, you can even see his eyes on film. Like, seeing him, he misdirects people sometimes with his eyes. Like, he's starting to use some of those instincts to his benefit. And that's why I think we were pounding on the table at the beginning of the season. That's why the reps are that important. You know, people just think running back is just go out there and run. It's like, no. They have assignments. Their processing has to be on point. And so we're starting to see that from him. But a lot of this just starts with the offensive line and the movement that the offensive line is getting. He's really taking advantage of how much this interior is getting pushed off the line of scrimmage. They're using different ways. And I will say, too, we've complained about the run game a lot this season. This is one of the few games I felt like they really stuck to it, and it wasn't always pretty. You know, like, there were some negative plays. There were times that you didn't get much out of it, but they just stuck to it. And I think,
Aside from the second quarter.
facts, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
But they stuck to it, and they gave him the carries that kept the defense honest. But I think that a lot of it also too is just keep doing it. And the opposing team's defense, it doesn't matter if you get negative yardage out of it or not. It's easier on them when you're passing the ball. Don't be easy on them. Don't make it easy on them and sit back and drop back all those times. Run at them. It's not always going to be positive. It's not always going to be pretty, but be physical and establish the line of scrimmage. And I think that that's a part of the reason why he's been able to find some success running the ball over these last couple weeks.
And yards after contact have really been up these
Oh,
past few weeks.
he's bouncing off of people. You see it.
Yeah, and when you're at field level, that's because you can't see all the, it's not the all 22 coaches film where you can see the holes opening. What you see from that level is the yards after contact. And to your point, the offensive line, off the ball, moving everything. But the other thing is, there is an energy when the run game is going for the offense that fires up the entire team, not just the offensive line. Fires up the entire team.
Well, because they know they don't have to carry the weight of the world.
But
the passing
it also
game.
too is a temperament thing. It's
Imposing
we're in your face. Like,
Yeah.
it's my will is greater than yours. It is, and that's what I was saying. Like, there were spots in this game where the offensive line was moving those guys off the ball so serious. Like, and if your defense sees that, it's one of the few times that you just see hat on hat. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. And we talked about Brock Hoffman and those young guys on the interior, Tyler Smith as well. Like, they're tone setting in that way. Yeah. So he's feeding off of them as well.
And you softened them up, and then in the fourth quarter, or most of the second half, the Giants are without Dexter Lawrence, who suffered the dislocated elbow, and without Nunez Roches, and so they were without some key guys, and that's when, because the running game is like boxing. It's jab, 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 jab. That's what a run game does. And then
you get your punch in. Well, and also I felt, sorry, one more thing. Sorry. I also just feel like a lot of the guys in that locker room were rooting for Rico to get this opportunity. And so to see a lot, all guys, they were all rooting for Rico to be like, it's your time, man. Like, the amount of guys that you would hear passing by Rico's in the last 2 years that we were around everything. You would just hear, after practice, like, hey, your time's coming, man. Hey, your time's up, man. Like, a lot of encouragement from his teammates. So to your point, Christy, about the energy being high and it bringing more of that energy out, yeah, they're seeing a guy that they saw sitting, waiting for his turn, getting his opportunity and doing the most with it. And when you have guys like Izzy, for example, who's a couple lockers away from Rico, seeing that happen, why would it not inspire you to go out and play your best? Because look what happens when you do get that opportunity. So for me, I think Rico's it's truly been one of my favorite stories to follow the last couple of years, is to know that he was ready and to see it come to fruition this year, and specifically in this game for 100 yards doesn't seem like a big deal. It was
a big
really
deal.
exciting to see for him.
For sure. And you talk about the patience that he showed, but he was also making guys miss. Like, that was something that I noticed.
was
Looking
shimmying
back
guys
at-
off.
Shimming guys off. I mean, and even with the
Dancing through
offensive
life.
line, even when they would make mistakes and miss blocks, you would still see guys hustling downfield to make those blocks and open up those holes for Rico. So it was a true team effort when you talk about the offensive line and Rico Dowdle having the success that he was able to have. But all right, on that note, I saw you dancing. So we're going to take our first break. Next, we're going to talk about some defense. We're going to hear from Micah Parsons about the improvement that this defensive line and defense as a whole is making. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The most electrifying event of the holiday season is here. Cowboys Christmas Extravaganza, powered by Reliant, is back at the store in Frisco. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from November 22nd through November 21st for a spectacular holiday show with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rhythm and Blues, Rowdy, Santa Claus, and a surprise tree lighting appearance from your favorite Dallas Cowboys heroes. Best of all, the show is free. For details, visit thestardistrict.com and don't miss out on the holiday magic.
All right. Go ahead. Don't miss out. Don't miss out on this Cowboys defense either.
Oh,
sorry.
no, that was pretty good. I like that one. I like that one.
It was cool.
I like that one.
All right.
Task.
It's fine.
That was holiday magic. It really was.
Task.
I'm in the fa la la mood. Holly
Same.
jolly. Yeah,
I love that for you.
Oh,
Holiday
Thanksgiving is over. It is fa la 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 la.
it is. That's
Christmas
why I
time.
brought you guys the cookies to get in the fa la 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 la.
All right. Well, the Cowboys defense has continued to play their best football and only getting better each week, especially the last 2 weeks. They had a season high, tied a season high in sacks, just obviously feeling a little bit more comfortable in Mike Zimmer's scheme. And Micah Parsons was asked about it post-game on how comfortable these guys are starting to feel. Let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, man. You got to think it was a learning period. Everyone's understanding new defense. Zim's a lot more creative and demanding how they want people to play the gap. So it was challenging a lot of the interior guys to play new ways, the corners to play new ways. I think at this point everyone's comfortable, everyone's locked in, And then you got to think, as soon as we was trying to get comfortable, injuries. It was like bang, bang, bang. So you got to call some guys up that was probably never going to get the opportunity, and they got to learn the system. And, they was probably comfortable, like, I got Micah and D-Law in front. I'm probably, not going to get much. And it's like, boom, it's right there in front of you. So it tells you always got to be prepared. You always got to stay prepared. And I think at this point in the season that everyone's ready.
everyone's clearly ready. You look at what Michael Parsons was able to do: 6 pressures on 36 pass rushers, 1.5 sacks. DeMarvion Overshown. Whew, I mean, we just talk about the play alone. That interception return for a pick 6. I mean, all those guys are really just starting to gel and, like I've already mentioned, feeling a little bit more comfortable. But when you talk about, you were mentioning it earlier, just hearing him finally say that, you know, guys are stepping up, guys are feeling more comfortable. How have you started to see that translate each week?
Well, they're getting opportunities to rush the passer, which comes in handy, obviously. But I think because these guys have gotten more comfortable with the system, I think that's allowing Mike Zimmer to navigate and do some disguising on the back end and have some he's shifting front. So the shifts are just where, like, you see guys like right before the snap, they kind of like crawl to the other side. Like, it looks like they're crawling, but they're just stepping to the other side, trying to find favorable lanes, rush lanes, stress offensive lines. I think he's doing some things that he wasn't able to do before because he needed to know that these guys were going to be in position and do their job. And I think he's gained some faith in them. And because of that, he's getting into his bag a little bit. And I know that Zimmer is starting to enjoy the usage of a DeMarvion Overshown and things like that. I mean, like, I think a lot of it has to do with him trusting them more because they clearly are picking up what they're trying to do. But I think they're also just finding some things from a pass rushing standpoint, which, again, they weren't able to do as much at the beginning of the season because people was just running on them. But now that they have kind of gotten better at stopping, like, they're getting a little bit more solid at stopping the run, they're earning the opportunity to rush the passer, and because of that, it is helping the secondary, and they're causing some turnovers as well.
Yeah, I mean, what I underestimated, to your point earlier, Aisha, was how different it would be for the guys in the locker room adjusting from a Dan Quinn to a Mike Zimmer.
And temperament and all that stuff.
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Zimmer don't play. Like,
two completely different kinds of coaches here. And not a knock to either one. It's just you went kind of from night and day, from one day to the next, literally. And so for a lot of these guys who, you know, were younger when Dan came in, got used to that. And I personally think it's just taken time for everybody to adjust to each other while learning a new system. And that could be a lot and frustrating. And then on top of that, you have injury after injury
like
after
said,
injury.
Like,
it's been never ending for the challenges that this defense has faced, on top of the fact that, you know, you had guys, key vital guys, coming back from injury even as early on as training camp. Like, you had Mozzie that, you know, wasn't getting all of the reps in because of that shoulder surgery and rehab that he had early on, so he was on a late progression, and then it just kept coming, and then you had a Tank out and then a Micah out. So, you know, I'm sure Zim really had to adjust to what exactly he had, and with these younger guys, let's call it what it is. You don't know exactly what you have yet for some guys. And even like a Demo, we didn't know how he was going to come back in and look this season because he just came off of an ACL. You wouldn't know now, but you didn't know at the beginning of the season. So for me, I mean, it's just been a progression that I think in retrospect, when we look back on, it makes sense that it has taken them this long into the season to figure it out, given every single thing that's stacked against them starting early on. So I really do applaud Zimmer's adjustments during this time, but I also applaud the locker room for continuing to have faith, and just these wins like we were talking about, especially starting to stack them back up, just gives you that morale boost of you're doing it for a reason and you're not putting all of this work into learning and readjusting and you know, playing for other guys and doing everything that they've had to do to overcompensate essentially from these injuries, worth it. So I really applaud all of them and what they've had to do to get back to this point.
Yeah. Confidence comes from demonstrated ability.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
the Bill Parcellsism. But it's not just players themselves or players in Zimmer's system. As to what you guys are saying, it's Zimmer's confidence, the demonstrated ability of the players now, you know, getting adjusted to it and playing better. But the way that it's manifest itself, to your original question, and Aisha, the very last thing you said was turnovers. And that was the key Thursday, because the two of the touchdowns, obviously the Demo interception return for a touchdown, that's off of a takeaway, but the opening in the third quarter, that was the Cooks TD. That was a short field that was Eric Kendrick's sack, forced fumble, recovered by DeMarvion Overshown. So here's the thing. 14 points off of takeaways on Thursday. Why is that significant? Because in all the games leading up to Thursday, the Cowboys had a grand total off of takeaways, 13 points. 13 points coming into the game, 14 points on Thursday. Duh.
Yeah.
You know, football ain't hard, okay?
Yeah.
And what's the number one statistic in determining a win or a loss? Now, can you find can you poke holes in this? Sure, you can always find examples.
Turnover
but it's
differential.
turnover differential. 14 points on Thursday, and you won by 7.
Yeah.
And that just gives you more confidence. I mean,
Yes.
everybody starts to play with a little bit more fire. The offense started to play a little bit better as well. So it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's y'all gotta help me with this word. It's like like when you
Complimentary football.
Well, yeah, I was
Weight
looking
off your
for like
shoulders.
it's like a feeding off of each other.
Oh, feeding
It's like
frenzy. Yeah.
there we go. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, tracking.
I feel like there's one word for it.
Yeah, I'm bad at.
I was thinking, but it just wasn't coming to me. But it's fine.
Yeah, we got
Infectious.
there it is.
There it is.
Infectious.
Because
I think that was what I was looking for.
Y'all,
good.
you used to talk about some help me. I'm like, baby, I'm gonna help you. But and here's the difference between, and also too, it's important to remember also too, the difference between Dan Quinn's system and the Mike Zimmer system. Mike Zimmer, like Dan Quinn coaches, you're going for turnovers. Like they coach turnovers in a way that is very unique. Because I remember some of the players saying, like, I've never done this much like jug work. I've never done this. Like Joey Jr., those guys really emphasized taking the ball away. And that's why the Cowboys thrived during that time. Dan Quinn's previous teams had been top 10 in turnovers. So it's something that carries with him most of the time. Washington having trouble, whatever, it's not my business. Mike Zimmer's system teaches if you play your position, the turnovers will come to you. They're coming to them now.
So
because
having
they
to learn
understand
that
the system.
patience
It does
key
take
in it.
patience because you have some risk takers
Yeah.
also too on your defense. DeMarcus Lawrence he'll jump out of his rush lane every now and he'll move to another gap. We've seen him do that on big plays. Trayvon Diggs, he'll jump routes. Deron Bland, they'll jump routes. Like you have some risk taker type guys, and I'm not saying to take that away. It's just that this system is different. To your point, if you play it right, the turnovers will come to you, as opposed to we're going to seek them from the start of the snap.
That sounded
That's
very
different.
Yoda-ish of you.
Oh.
Very Yoda wise words.
That was one of the
you.
biggest differences that I noticed in Zimmer's system when I was learning it. When I was like, oh, he wants you to play sound.
Well,
Go ahead.
And the ball will come to you.
to that point too, last year the Cowboys, were okay. Let's go back. The year before last, you had Trayvon Diggs, who was the ball hawk, being Trayvon Diggs. Trey is out. Then you have Deron Bland coming out of nowhere, Mr. Anything But Bland pick 6. Okay, so then you start this season, Deron's out, and then you get Deron back. Trey's out. So it's almost like people forget what a ball hawk can really be in that Cowboys DB because they haven't seen it so far this season because, one side's been out, the other's been out. That DB room has just been...
They've been through it.
Through the ringer this season. So they're not respecting it as much as you've seen in previous seasons because, again, reputation carries. And from that, you just haven't seen it yet because, again... injury bug decided to come and hit very hard, specifically that cornerback room. Oh my goodness!
You weren't getting no pressure either. I mean, you wasn't getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting pressures. I'll give them that, but they weren't affecting the QB enough. Kalen Carson's on IR now. What's that TikTok sound?
I don't know.
I'm glad. Listen, this was a very rough year to be a rookie corner on this defense with no pass rush. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, this is a nugget. You're asking him to hold on to dear life, and quarterbacks are just back there like, meh.
Dicing them up.
I'm gonna go to like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I agree. I do think that didn't help either. That I think that's the secondary right now is benefiting from this pass rush. Micah Parsons being back, those guys being in the lineup
Safeties
as well.
being able to play well again.
Yes.
Dono looking
Look at
like Dono.
Donovan is. They're figuring out some
Hooker.
things with Donovan.
Yeah.
Have him coming forward.
Yes.
That is his game.
Yep.
That's his game.
All right. Well, we have a little game afterwards. Not really a game, but it's kind of a game. All right. Who made you smile on Thanksgiving Day? Think about it, because we're gonna take our first break. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk after the break.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Capture a frame-worthy family holiday photo with Santa at the Star, presented by Monument Realty. Santa will be spreading holiday cheer at his Cowboys-themed cottage in the Star District from November 22nd through November 24th. For more information and to book your visit, head to thestardistrict.com/Santa. Can confirm it is so cute. Last year, I took Toby to get his picture taken with Santa. Only one dog can go because Whit's too crazy. Like, Whit would not sit there for a picture. Right. Toby, sweetest angel, sat on Santa's lap. Santa was like hugging Toby. And I was like, where am I supposed to sit? Like, what do I do? And so we took one with just Toby. And then Santa's like, no, you come in here. So I had to sit on like the armrest. But like Toby
Santa said forget you.
Yeah, just to
Santa
clarify,
care about me.
It was all about
you
the
can
dog.
bring human children and not just pets.
Yeah,
So,
I guess.
Yeah.
Santa said,
Yeah,
forget
sure.
you.
Why would you
Whatever.
want to?
Yeah, whatever.
I wouldn't
I guess
forget her,
Christmas
though,
is
you
about
know?
the kids.
She said,
No.
Santa said, forget you.
No. But he
What
did
was
put
she
in
said?
Santa
Nah,
on the lap.
Santa
I mean,
said
the dog on the
forget
lap.
me and give me that dog.
Right?
Santa wanted to.
Can I bet that
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Wow, I know we typically do this on Fridays. Let me just disclaim that out now right now. But who made you all smile Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, don't pick me first. Y'all go
Go
first.
ahead. No, you go first.
No, I don't want to go first. I'm thinking still.
I'll go first, but
All
it's
right,
very
go.
predictable.
Go.
Rico.
Go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Duh.
I knew it.
Okay.
And that was because, again, I already explained it, why this 100 yards was so significant for him. I really think this is the starting line for what you're going to see from Rico. And honestly, I just feel like it's what you needed for McCarthy to feel really confident in play calling and, to your point, Nicole, consistently adding the run through all 4 quarters of the game. So it made me smile because I've seen Rico's journey. He's one of the first players that I talked to in the locker room when we first started going in there. And to see him from then to now and the confidence growth and the growth as him as a player, I'm really proud of him for that. So, yeah.
Who wants to go next?
And I was thankful. Thankful for Rico Dowdle and anyone that dowdled him.
I'm going to go. Who made me smile? Boy, let me tell you something.
I feel like I know who you're going to say.
That Brock Hoffman.
I knew it!
Yes.
That Brock Hoffman will have you
I
on
was
the
waiting for
ground. Today I compared him. I said he got a Draymond Green spirit. And I think a lot of people look at that and they be like, Draymond Green. I'm like, first of all, Draymond Green is one of the smartest basketball players IQ-wise you will ever hear. But also, too, his antics, although I don't agree with all of them, a lot of them have reason. If you listen to him, it's a mental game to him.
He gets in guys' heads.
And Brock is that type of guy. He backs it up with the physicality and the nastiness in his play. But he is I'm going to be in your face all day. Come on, homie. Like, all day. And I was just watching him, some of the stuff he was doing on the field. I said, this man is crazy. But I think every offensive line needs someone that is like that. That's not afraid to do some gibbering, some jabbering. That's not afraid to toe the line just a little bit, to set the tone. So what made me smile? Brock Hoffman. He had me cackling. Especially if you go back and watch the film. I said, Hoffman, you ain't got to fight every play. You ain't got to be cussing nobody out
But sometimes it works. Yeah. It gets guys mentally
if you go look
holy crap.
Wouldn't it upset you? I'd be like, shut the hell up.
Jesse Holly.
Oh, my God.
Jesse Holly, we were talking about it earlier, and he was just like, man, like, I'm watching Dexter Lawrence get visibly frustrated by him. Yeah. But at the same time, it's a part of it. It is a part of the game,
and he was playing to back up what he was saying.
Yes, so that's what had me. Actually, as a matter of fact, it just made me smile. He had me cackling because what is wrong with
I'm
you?
sick.
What you got, Christy?
I'm going to go Brandon Cooks just because of the hard work with the rehab and not just the touchdown, but I mean big plays. But that catch at the end of the game to keep the ball for the Cowboys where they could just kneel down. Yeah. That was, just beautiful. The way he just snagged it. So I'm gonna go with Cooks, and part of it just like Jess says about Rico Dowdle, guy we just love and appreciate for who he is and what he brings to the locker room, and glad to see that hard work pay off with a really good Thanksgiving Day.
I'm just going to go with the obvious with Turpin. I feel like, it's hard when you talk about the different teams that he's played for and his journey to the NFL and seeing where he is now. I had the pleasure of actually knowing him in college. So, like, just seeing his journey has been awesome. So, yeah, getting him more confident and seeing the confidence actually translate on the field has been awesome. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Turpin.
No one went with Overshown. Sorry, Demo, you got to do more.
Given, though. I feel like he makes us smile every
we were
game.
going to do what play made us smile. I was like, because I didn't say Demo, I'm going to say the batted ball to the pick six.
We got to go. So we're going to say that for tomorrow.
He's getting to that point.
Well,
he's getting to the Michael point where it's just like, we don't even mention him because he's so good.
Because he's so overshown.
All right, on that note, it has been great. For Aisha Morrison, Jess Navarez, Christy Scales, I'm Nicole Edgerton. We'll see y'all back here tomorrow.
Bye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!